What's up, RoyalSpartan Tribe? This is RoyalSpartan125, back for yet another great reaction. Okay, I'm switched over here. I'm on the other side of my couch because that side's getting a bit, abused. Using it too much. So I thought I'll switch over to the other one. It's a little bit more plump on that side, or might be a little bit more comfortable. And yeah, it is kind of. So this is part 6, Greater Terran Union, Stellaris Invicta. Okay, this is part 6. I've been waiting to get back to this. I know I haven't actually got back to it yet, so it's good to get there. Just before the Christmas season starts, because once the Christmas season starts, it's going to be mostly Christmas stuff. Yeah. So this is your last bit of normality before last sort of normal sort of video before Christmas comes along. Yep. And yeah. The background there will be changed to green instead of blue. And yeah. Keep telling myself not to do long intros, but I end up doing them anyway. Okay, let's jump in. Here we go.
On September 16th, 2448, 100 members of the Sunda Commissariat's Guard of Honor silently assembled in Victory Square in the center of Jakarta. In lieu of their ceremonial weaponry, each held a single torch. The statue they encircled was nearly as old as the Greater Terran Union itself, constructed even as ash still fell across the earth, and the survival of humanity remained tenuous. Nobody ever discovered who first tossed their black ribbon of mourning on the monument, but it was soon joined by tens of thousands of others in a mass outpouring of grief. The impromptu act grew to become tradition, and through the centuries, the statue was slowly buried beneath a black cloak of mourning until entire generations passed by without ever seeing what lay beneath. But on the night mankind unleashed its greatest weapon, and the suffering brought to Earth was finally repaid, 100 torches were cast at the statue's base. In an instant, centuries of grief were burned away, and the figure of a woman, sword raised to the starlit sky, emerged. Engraved on her shield in every language was a single phrase that, until now, had been lost to history. Whoever shall come to us with a sword, by the sword shall perish. Even before the shattered pieces of the Tyrum's homeworld had begun to stabilize, the response from across the galaxy flooded in. On every alien world in which the Greater Terran Union maintained an embassy or consulate, spontaneous mass demonstrations broke out. Within a span of days, half a dozen diplomatic compounds had been hastily evacuated before they were overrun by protesters. Other embassies were simply closed or expelled at the request of their host nation.
Well, we can't pretend that we didn't know that was going to happen. They destroyed a planet, and wiped out an entire species. So, we assume. I don't know how I feel about that still. Obviously you have to pay them back for what they did.
The Sword of Terra and its accompanying escort fleet managed to return to Terran space before the Star Concord closed their borders, an act that would be copied by nearly every other major government or alliance. Even nations that had traditionally been friendly or impartial towards the Greater Terran Union were now belligerent. Terran diplomats had of course expected such a reaction, but the consequences and uproar had far surpassed even their most pessimistic expectations. In a rare attempt to appease interstellar opinion, the GTU announced it would adopt a partial qualified no first use policy, stating that the Sword of Terra would only be used against states possessing a similar type of weapon. The damage, however, had already been done.
Yeah.
The destruction of their homeworld had thrown the Tyrum into a chaotic frenzy. Their hive mind, either crippled or destroyed outright, seemed no longer able to control its population of drones. On every world they occupied, they tore into each other in terrible displays of senseless viciousness, while their remaining ships and stations sat motionless, their crews either dead or dying.
So they didn't wipe them out. Why did I assume that they wiped them out completely? I mean, they did go to Earth, they have been on other worlds, take over other worlds. But I know better. They've obviously been to many other worlds. Okay, I don't feel so bad about it now. Yeah, they were right to wipe out their world. But at the same time, they did wipe them out in a way, because now they're attacking each other. Now without a hive mind, now without something to control them, the hive mind to control them, they're just beasts, you know? There's no self-control, you know?
Terran state media, while not boastful, had also not shied away from broadcasting images of the slaughter, but as the death toll grew higher and higher, even its most bellicose anchors became somber.
Yeah.
While scattered pockets of their society had remained relatively intact, there could be no mistaking the reality of the situation. The Tyrum were now a dying race. With the completion of the Sword of Terra, the resources, funding, and personnel behind its development were moved elsewhere. In 2469, a project that for centuries had been largely underfunded and overlooked was completed. In a remote system captured from the Algan Republic in one of the earliest conflicts against the Compact, Terran scientists had seized a derelict interstellar gateway.
Okay, we saw the gateway before. And I'm just wondering where it leads now, you know? Where are they going to go next? What are they going to do next? Who are they going to do it to? I just want to say this. Other people have been attacked by the Tyrum, right? Because when humans first went out, they found like a space station and other things where refugees were holed up, you know? Starving and very little water and sanitation and all that. Those people would probably celebrate the Tyrum being destroyed, right? They're not going to shed a tear for them. Not after that. Not after what they did to their worlds. You know, there's going to be many people celebrating the Tyrum's destruction. Then I suppose the same worlds that are condemning the humans, or the Terran Union, are the same ones that were attacked too. Some of them were attacked by the Tyrum, I think, too, weren't they? Yeah, so they're standing against humanity on this one. It's a hard subject, you know. It's. I don't like the idea of wiping out an entire species, but at the same time, if you're gonna do it quickly. don't leave them to suffer. You know what I mean?
While such objects were not common, a scattered few had been discovered across the galaxy,
right.
Reactivated, and most famously used as a launching site for the strike against the Tyrum.
Yes.
This gateway, however, while remarkably similar to those previously encountered, was subtly different and seemed linked to its own separate network.
Oh.
The first ships to pass through it once it had been reactivated emerged in a previously unknown extragalactic cluster. To the delight of these initial pioneers, the cluster was of tremendous scientific value. Many of its worlds were coated in long since deactivated nanites, and their discovery catapulted the Union's understanding of nanotechnology by perhaps centuries.
Okay, I'm a bit ominous about the whole nanite thing. Can't help but think of Stargate, you know? What were they called? Creatures in that they were made up of different parts, you know, like metal and stuff like that there. Yeah, I think they're going to reactivate these nanites, and then something's going to go wrong, and they're going to start attacking them or something. And maybe not. Maybe they're going to make another weapon or something, who knows?
Even more astonishing was the presence of a still intact artificial intelligence, capable of exerting control over trillions of nanites. While initially wary of its potential, after an exhaustive analysis, it was authorized to supplement Terran military and civilian networks, rapidly improving their efficiency and capabilities. With the enormous wealth and insights of the extragalactic cluster seized by the Greater Terran Union, the nation's marshals, generals, and admirals began advocating for a preemptive strike on what remained of the Compact. While no longer a serious threat, their surprise declaration of war during preparations for the campaign against the Tyrum had infuriated the Terran military. In 2488, the Greater Terran Union declared war on the members of the Compact, the Rixian Galactic Directorate, the Phyraxian Union, and what remained of the Algan Republic.
Well, all I'm gonna say is they started it. There it is. They declared war on us, and then we were like, nah, 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 nah. We just beat you. We just weakened you, and now we're just gonna go and do what we were gonna do in the first place. But we'll get back to you. Yeah, we'll come back and finish you off, because that's what we do. You attack us, we finish you off. We weaken you to a point where you have to retreat behind your own borders, and then we come for you. Yeah, and we hit you hard.
War Plan Blue, constantly updated and refined across centuries, was immediately put into action. Where once they had been formidable powers capable of meeting the Greater Terran Union in open battle, the Compact was now a shadow of its former self. New generations of Terran warships dwarfed even the largest battleships sent against them, and in every encounter, Terran Fleet Command achieved stunning, lopsided victories. Even the fortress system of Raltec, which for centuries had been considered unconquerable by even the largest powers in the galaxy, was broken. Affectionately known to Terran soldiers as Lady Grey, the vast swarm of nanites and their guiding intelligence discovered in the extragalactic cluster were unleashed. Even the genetically engineered soldiers of the Phyraxian Union were powerless against it, and system after system after system fell to the Terran advance.
Okay, I'm gonna say it now. That AI has been playing a friendly game. It's like, yeah, we can be friends. Yeah, I'll help you out with all your networks and stuff like that. And at some point, you'll activate my nanites for me and let me use them to do certain things for you. Next thing you know, the AI is going to turn on them. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. This is what's going to happen. It's like, how can they not see it coming?
In 2495, the seventh and final war between the Greater Terran Union and the Compact came to an end as the Algan Republic, Phyraxian Union, and Rixian Galactic Directorate surrendered unconditionally. On Earth, flags and banners of the defeated, symbols that had defied the GTU for centuries, were marched down the Avenue of Triumph before being thrown at the feet of the assembled marshals. Across the former worlds of the Compact, occupation forces swept across ruined cities as new regimes, governments, and puppet states were established. In orbit of the shattered Tyrum homeworld, a single station was completed, a type of shrine that would become the site of pilgrimages from every human colony. And in the capitals of the Peranisti Union, the Sophox Garden of Worlds, the Vol Hive, the Florian Matriarchy, the Star Compact, and hundreds of other alien nations, the same realization had been made. With the annihilation of the Tyrum, one threat to the galaxy had simply been replaced by another. A power equally implacable, intelligent, and perhaps far more dangerous.
Yeah, you better believe they're dangerous. Yeah, watch out. Might be coming for you next. Yeah, that was really good. I mean, it took me a couple of seconds to get back into it, but once I did, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to do the seventh one pretty soon, probably. I'm gonna try and get this whole series out. I know there's many more of these, and you guys want me to do them too. That's fine. I'll try and look them up. I've got the mix thing of it. It shows you all the. I think it's in chronological order. I'm gonna have to maybe go back to the start and just figure out what I've done and what I haven't done yet, and fill in the gaps. That was a good one. I don't know why I didn't think the Tyrum have been to other worlds. You know what I mean? Because I know they have. Duh. I'm just not. It took me a little bit to get back into it again, but yeah. Hope it didn't throw you guys too much, and that was only 9 minutes, so I think twice that once my reaction goes in, But yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the reaction, and hope this tied you over for a little while until I get the next one done. And I enjoyed this, and until next time, I am out of here.